with Netherlands' Marcel Meeberg, number 10, posting the best of season time to grab third position on the grid. The top two positions are filled by British drivers, with Robin Stoddard, number 33, not quite able to match the championship leader, and teammate Jamie Stallard, number 2. It's Stallard's third pole position of the year, and it could prove to be the most crucial on the twisty circuit. The big surprise was the poor form of ex-champion Peter Sandor. He could do no better than fifth behind current champion Ian Andrews. And new kid on the grid, Meeberg.
Car racing, it's beautiful to see and beautiful to follow. But everyone does it. And if you want to do a different sport which not everyone is doing, go powerboat racing. You get speed, you get exciting, you get everything, you get beautiful places to race. So that's a better thing than car racing or motorsport racing.
The grid for the third round of this year's UIM Formula 3 World Powerboat Championship is assembled, and the green light is awaited. And there it is. Robin Stoddard, 33, from second position with a wonderful break off the dead engine start, ahead of Jamie Stallard, number 2, from pole position, and Marcel Meeberg, number 10. Let's look at it again. Starting in gear with the turn of the ignition key. There's a definite knack to that, and Stoddard gets it dead right. On their way back into the only right-hand turn on the circuit, this is the twitchy moment. The boat's set up for anti-clockwise, that's left-hand turns, and most of the circuit designers these days have a habit of throwing in the odd right-hander just to keep everyone up on their toes. The red boat is number 7, Philippe Touré, France, in 6th. The circuit here in Lefkas, very tight at either end. And Peter Sandor, number 99, Hungary, keeping as close as he can to the buoy. Just fractions of a second saved, and they add up over 40 laps. 2 laps down, 38 to go, and Stoddard will be aware of the sloppy water generated by the backwash off the walls surrounding this circuit. That will get worse as the race progresses, so he will be trying to build himself an early cushion of a couple of seconds, which undoubtedly will come in useful. Stallard, number 2, won't want him to get too far away. Number 22, Mark Rolls, swapped hulls overnight following 2 poor qualifying performances, and that change of boat putting him at the back of the grid, but picking up 4 places already after the race start. Lap times, incidentally, Stoddard first lap 43.026 seconds, Stallard 44.178, Sandor 44.880, and Van der Sluis 45.263. That was the first lap, and at the end of the second lap as Stallard closes in, the times tumble. Stoddard 42.734 seconds. Oh, that was a good lap from the championship leader, and Stoddard's cause not being helped here by the back markers. Very little space around the outside, so if the slower boats don't pull over, it can make it a little bit tricky. Stallard there, right up in second place, number 2. And the third lap times reflecting that hold-up. Stoddard 44.238 seconds. Stallard, though, still slightly quicker on 44.002. Both clear, though, now of Ivan Motta, the perpetrator of the hold-up. Van der Sluis and Meeberg will be the next to encounter the problem. Incidentally, that's the best so far for number 6, Roger van der Sluis. Best of the season, that is. Finished 9th in Hungary, but failed to finish in Italy. Meeberg, number 10, finished 6th in Hungary and 7th in Italy. So both will be pretty happy so far. Oh, but it looks as if they will all have to stop. The red flags are out, and that means a restart. Someone, we are told, has rolled over at the top end of the course, and that's not altogether surprising. Talking to the drivers before the race, they were expecting one or two, and this time it's Johan Cohenradi, number 14 from Holland, who takes the first dip of the third round. And fair bit of damage there too on that port sponson. Well, while they all line up again, let's look again at one of the closer moments between Robin Stoddard, number 33, and Jamie Stallard, number 2. Held up behind Ivan Motta, Stallard prepared to drive blind in the spray if it creates an overtaking opportunity on the exit to the corner. Second start, and there they go. Stoddard again, first out of the blocks, with this time Toure and Van der Sluis keeping him company. Let's look at that again. And Van der Sluis almost getting the drop on the lot, and that would have been a sensation. Toure, number 7, also flying. Again, leaders on the way back to the right-hander. And that's Jamie Stallard, number 2, who gets there first ahead of Stoddard. Well, that's quite remarkable. Stoddard, who looked to have his start run well under control, has lost the advantage somewhere on the top of the circuit. And that is the last thing that Robin Stoddard needed. Mark Rolls, number 22, continues threading his way through. Stoddard, who crashed out of the first round in Hungary, finished second in Italy. He trails Stallard, who has won both Grand Prix so far. 25 points to difference. So, if Stallard wins here, Stoddard's deficit will be at least 28 points. And, with only 3 rounds remaining, the chances of lifting the title then become remote. That apart, psychologically, the blow is immense. Stoddard not only needed to win this one, he's convinced himself all weekend it was there for the taking. And after leading for so long, will have vilified that in his mind. Now, he has to try and snatch it back again after having it taken away. And he won't do it. It will be 3 wins in a row for Jamie Stallard. Slightly fortunate maybe, but they all count. And he has one hand on the championship trophy, with the Grand Prix in Holland, France and Portugal to come. There's also a great result for Roger van der Sluis, a career best third ahead of 1999 champion Peter Sandor. But Stoddard is gutted.
I am drained. I put so much in, into it this weekend, and I was totally focused and was gutted, totally gutted.
But there was still one twist to come. Stoddard didn't know it, but Stallard had been penalised 1 lap for bursting a turn buoy, and that relegated him to 7th place. The championship bandwagon was back on the track after all.
Robin Stoddard από τη Μεγάλη Βρετανία.
And so were the smiles. And most observers couldn't help but thinking, in the end, there really was an element of justice about the whole thing. They love their powerboating in Holland and gather in their thousands at Almere for the 4th round of this year's UIM Formula 3 World Championship. In Roger van der Sluis and Marcel Meeberg, they also have 2 genuine contenders for top honours, both with podium finishes already this year. The championship, however, is likely to be decided between 2 Brits and a Hungarian. Jamie Stallard, number 2 UK, and Peter Sandor, 99 Hungary, separated by just a couple of points, with Robin Stoddard, 33 UK, closing in. There was disappointment for home fans when local boy Sven Hammer, number 11, pulled out of the race. But that was nothing to the seething wrath about to emerge in the Stoddard camp. Their man, mounting a late burst on the leader, Sandor, was hit astern of midships and sunk. A number of different opinions were inevitable, and with Stoddard no longer a championship contender or participant in this race, the rest, also minus Ken McCrory and Ian Andrews, set off again. The incident promoted Meeberg to 4th place, Philippe Touré France to 3rd, with Stallard and Sandor the two most likely now to slog it out in the championship run-in. Stallard, after leading the championship since the first round, has the most to lose. Stoddart, surrounded by his kit of boat bits, turns spectator. The race is won by Peter Sandor, who now gets to Macon with a 1-point lead over Stallard. Meeberg provides the home celebrations in 3rd place. Robin, on the other hand, is not a happy bunny.
I was on the inside, there was a back marker, Ian was on the outside, it was my turn, and he just drove straight into the side of me. Dirty, dirty driving, and I will tell him when I get over there. We're all here to enjoy ourselves, and we're all here to have good racing, to entertain the sponsors and the crowds that come and watch us. And then what happens? You get crazy people like Andrews that just drive into you to wipe you out. Idiotic.
Andrews, complete with sponsor Specsavers, isn't so sure.
I was held up by the back markers for two laps. The back marker finally moved out the way and there was a gap, and I went for it, and I guess Robin saw the same gap and went for it at the same time, but he was coming from behind. I was in 2nd place, so I had to go for that gap.
There's something about rural France, great cuisine, spectacular backdrops, peaceful rivers. Usually, in a seesaw season, the championship pendulum has swung many times. After Stallard, Great Britain got off to the perfect start with 2 straight wins. A subsequent penalty for demolishing a boy in Greece, though, turned the tide. And he arrives here a point behind arch-rival Peter Sandor. First action on the water is pole position time trial, and considered by the majority of the experts as the most crucial of the season so far. The tight circuit allows few opportunities of overtaking, and Sandor, number 99, wastes no time in posting a very quick 43.287 seconds, an average of almost 100 miles per hour. Stallard's immediate reply is sensational, 42.901 seconds, forcing Sandor back to the pit lane for a change of setup. Roger van der Sluis, number 6, and another driver with the right combination. His second lap is 43.620 seconds. Local driver Philippe Touré gives the home fans something to cheer about. His 43.842 seconds is good enough for 4th. But no one will catch Stallard. He's on a mission. With the all-important Grand Prix to follow, he's in pole position to retake the lead in the championship. This is how they line up. Stallard ahead of Sandor, van der Sluis, Touré, Heymans, Cherney, McCrory, Rolls, Scott and Meeberg. A championship that will undoubtedly be decided at the final race in Portugal in 2 weeks' time. So, how important the penultimate occasion here at Macon? The all-important run to Mark 1. Stallard favourite to get there first, but it's Sandor choosing the wider and faster line who edges ahead. But it's a magnificent turn from Stallard, clean across the Hungarian, keeping the power on, timed that to perfection, and now in a position on the exit to choose his line to the next turn boy. Quite brilliant. Looking at it again, and it was indeed a very good start by Sandor, and that on any other day might have brought a greater reward. But such is the position on the leaderboard, Stallard knows that if he fails to beat Sandor today, then the Hungarian will have the luxury of being able to finish 2nd in 2 weeks' time and still lift the title. Stallard must win both races to be certain, providing neither break down. Sandor will have the support of teammate Bellascherny, number 98 of course, and that could get interesting if both Stallard and Sandor come up to lap the 2nd Hungarian later in the race. Although blocking as such is banned, he could make life a little uncomfortable for the Brit. Number 3 is Ken McCrory, battling here with Roger van der Sluis, number 6. The prize is 4th place, after his brilliant best ever 2nd place in Greece. Behind them, Philippe Touré on home territory, number 7, amazingly still looking for his first podium finish. Van der Sluis has already achieved that this season, and Ken McCrory is a past world champion, so the Frenchman keeping pretty good company here. But it's Stallard, number 2, who still leads. Last lap time, 44.276 seconds. Sandor snapping at his heels on 44.308. Into the closing stages of the race, Stallard still not able to break away, shoring up his defence, leaving not the tiniest gap for Sandor to exploit. And that's why Peter Sandor continually switching the attack from right to left, keeping Stallard on his toes, extracting everything down the straights at just over 110 kilometres an hour, riding on one blade of the propeller at just a few inches at the back of the boat. Sandor flying like an aeroplane at the point of takeoff, but for all his aerobatics he won't catch Stallard. It's a well-timed victory for the British driver with one round of the championship remaining. How crucial a win that is for Jamie Stallard ahead of Sandor, Cherney, Van der Sluis, Toure, Meeberg, Scott, McCrory, Motta and Rolls.
We had a good race today. You know, Peter pushed us all the way. Yeah, we got out ahead, just managed to stay in front. You know, just did what we needed to do. But it was, you know, it was a hard race. It was a close race. It wasn't easy by any means, which the last 2 races prove as well. Anything can happen, and that's why, you know, still 1 race to go, but fantastic.
So it's winner take all in Portugal at the final round. Stallard will start slight favourite, but I suspect that will count for absolutely nothing when the nerves start jangling. Kilometres southeast of Lisbon, the River Douro meanders quietly through some of Portugal's most spectacular landscapes. Perfect for that quiet weekend away. Not quite as peaceful this weekend though, and hardly your Olympic opening ceremony. But for River Douro, the arrival of the World Formula 3 drivers represents an occasion not to be forgotten. 14 drivers representing 8 countries make the trip, including number 99, Hungary's Peter Sandor, ex-champion, and currently lying just 1 point behind championship leader Jamie Stallard, Great Britain. Little has separated the two since Stallard's unfortunate penalty in Greece, which cost him 5 places in the race and allowed the chasing pack to close in on the leaderboard. So it all comes down to the final race. Whoever finishes ahead between number 2 Stallard and Sandor will be world champion. On the tiny circuit, pole position takes on a whole new significance. Down the pit lane, they suggest whoever leads off the start line in the race will be difficult to get past. Time practice first. Stallard and Sandor head to head for almost an hour. One, then the other posting a fastest lap until Stallard's 57.23 seconds looks to have settled the issue. Sandor fights back, but his 57.24 falls just 100ths of a second short of the target, and his last desperate bid ends in a barrel roll at the bottom turn. Stallard's 1 point lead in the overall points suddenly looks good. Elsewhere, Mark Rolls' Great Britain posts 58.17. Mike Heyman's Holland, 58.34 to go fourth. And Marcel Meeberg, number 10, 58.44. McCrory, Scott, Hamer, Cohen Roddy and Van der Sluis make up the other top grid positions. But there's no place for Sandor's running partner, Bella Cherney, number 98, in the first 10. Windy conditions delay the start of the race, and with the sun also about to go down on either Sandor or Stallard, final preparations are underway. Jamie Stallard, Great Britain, number 2, on the right, and Peter Sandor, Hungary, next to him, the key players. Winner takes all. It's a clean start by all the main players, but any plans Stallard may have had about getting to the first turn buoy ahead of the rest are quickly thrown overboard. Sandor, number 99, with a superb piece of power driving off the line, surges into the lead. Stallard's careful planning throughout the time trial got him into pole position. Now, he throws it all away. Sandor, never an easy driver to pass, will be hard to break on the twisty turns of the 1500-metre circuit, and he quickly establishes a 50-metre lead. Keeping perilously close to each buoy leaves Stallard little to aim at. In any other season, Sandor, with only one victory in the championship so far, might count himself lucky to be even contesting the title at the final hurdle. But here, with the pack, led by Stallard, baying at his heels, he's presented with a unique opportunity. The advantages of being out front away from the blinding spray thrown up by the boats in front are rarely as significant. With 5 out of the 40 laps completed, Sandor is still controlling the main championship issue. Every plan Stallard has come up with so far is dealt with efficiently. Britain's number 1 is in need of inspiration. Behind them, Meeberg number 10 chases bronze. As Czerny's miserable weekend continues, it's looking a distinct possibility, providing Heyman 37 doesn't interfere. The fastest lap times are interesting, as in practice Stallard is quickest on 58.72 seconds, against Sandor on 59.08. The Brit, with no problems in catching up, the hard bit is getting past. Elsewhere, Meeberg clocks a best of 1 minute 1.04 seconds, Rolls 1 minute 1.48, Heyman's 1 minute 1.63, Scott 1 minute 1.72, and Cohenradi, number 14, 1 minute 9.61. 20 laps completed, and as the sun sinks low behind the surrounding hills, Stallard is aware that time is running short, and maybe life in amongst the back markers will reveal the all-important route to glory. And he moves up. However, travelling at over 110 miles per hour on a surface made choppier by the consistent lapping of the boats is a precarious occupation. Care must be taken not to throw it all away. And there's hardly room to swing a cat, as individual battles develop all the way down to last place. Points are valuable wherever you look. Roger van der Sluis on the inside here defends 8th in the race, but 4th on the leaderboard. 10 laps to go, and Sandor, aware of an increasing presence in his wing mirrors, lowers the race fastest lap time to 58.67 seconds. Stallard responds with 58.26. Game on. With Czerny breaking down, Meeberg is now well up for the championship bronze. But he must stay out of trouble, otherwise van der Sluis or Rolls could slip ahead. The battle for 6th place involves Philippe Touret, France number 7, and Paul Scott, Great Britain number 26. It's all about 7th place too in the overall rankings. It looks set to go all the way to the wire until the Frenchman's unfortunate detour puts an end to all that. Looking at it again, it's the little bounce that hooks him just left and onto a line inside the buoy. Unlucky. 35 laps gone and 5 to go, and belief is growing in the British camp that their man can pull it off, and help might be on the way. It's less lucky though for Sven Heyman, number 11. His race hopes deflate along with the second buoy of the chicane. 4 laps to go, and the hand of fate might yet fall kindly on Stallard. Leader Sandor has now to lap Stallard's teammate McCrory, and although favours aren't dished out that liberally, such help, when readily necessary, is usually forthcoming. And it works here. Sandor, caught up in McCrory's wash, is forced to back off his throttles, leaving the way clear for Stallard to finish the job off with a wide sweep around the outside. Well, that was the theory, but a moment of hesitancy by the British driver lets the Hungarian off the hook. And now there's only 3 laps left. Oh, now for the points lost in Greece, where Stallard was penalised for puncturing a turn buoy. An instant, by the way, he hotly disputes. Let's take another look at the moment. Here, where Jamie Stallard changed his mind about the overtaking option. It's the pivotal point of the race. Sandor gets past McCrory on the next lap, and Stallard is left chasing the evening shadows and Peter Sandor into the last lap. Elsewhere, Meeberg has yet to shackle himself free of Heyman's persistence. But the way things have turned out in the race, he is now guaranteed bronze whatever happens.